And I say that in earnest, Your Excellency, because my friend Benson Wairegi once told me the story of how he began life with Jim Nambaru, and we know the story of Equity Bank as well. And Your Excellency, these owners of capital are actually hustlers made good. So they are really in line with what you've been saying. Good morning. We welcome you this morning. It's a great pleasure, it's an honor and a privilege to welcome the 5th President of the Republic and his Deputy President to the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Coming so early in your reign, it shows the significance that you place on our market, and it marks a very special day not just for the NSE, but for the entire capital market ecosystem in this country. We are the 5th largest exchange in Africa, certainly the most dynamic in sub-Saharan Africa, and we are a bellwether, like many other exchanges are, in which you can tell the economic performance of a nation through the performance of an exchange. Your presence here today is significant. It's a testament of your commitment to priority economic reforms aimed at supporting medium to long-term economic growth, an increase in employment opportunities, as well as reducing fiscal vulnerabilities in our economy. As you've rightfully pronounced on various platforms, local capital markets are an important economic tool which, well harnessed, have a unique potential to accelerate sustainable economic growth needed to broaden prosperity and reduce poverty in a country driving wealth creation. Similarly, Mr. President, deeper and more efficient equity and debt markets provide an effective and efficient way of mobilizing domestic resources and international capital, complementing traditional financing through fostering risk and long-term investments. Through this, public capital markets play a bigger role in channeling private capital in sectors with financing needs such as infrastructure, agriculture, housing, health, small and medium-sized enterprises, amongst others. Further, domestic capital markets help protect economies from volatile fluctuations in capital flows and reduce their dependency on foreign debt, which weighs heavily on economies, especially ours here. Your Excellency, over the last few years, the NSE has made significant investments aimed at enabling us to offer world-class services through a world-class market infrastructure anchored on a globally recognized investment products and cutting-edge technology. The NSE has been successful in developing a broad range of diverse investment products, enabling issuers to raise capital, investors to build portfolios across a wide range of globally recognized products. Currently, the NSE is the second most diverse in Africa, after South Africa, and I recognize Trevor Manuel here, the chairman of Old Mutual. From a technology point of view, the NSE has adopted best-in-class technology, deploying similar technological capabilities offered by the leading exchanges in the world, such as the London Stock Exchange. Despite investments to enhance market infrastructure, our market has not experienced commensurate, robust growth over the last 10 years. In fact, the last few years have been particularly depressing. The situation has decreased domestic and foreign direct investment in our country that is usually channeled through the capital markets. In our view, Kenya, being one of the most promising frontier economies in the world, may soon not have the public capital markets to match the dynamism if the challenge is not adequately addressed. Your Excellency, capital markets are driven by sentiments, and the positive sentiment of your victory lifted the market, as Mr. Wangunyu said. But I'm certain that today, your presence here and the pronouncements that you will make will lift the market even further and inspire confidence not just by the owners of capital, but by the investing public out there. At the moment, 65% of all the funds trading in our market are foreign funds, and 35% are local funds. But I'm certain that there's a lot that we can do to stimulate the local economy to participate more in retail investing. And you've been very passionate yourself about the public doing more in gaming than they are on the stock market. And we completely ascribe to that school of thought. It is against that background, Your Excellency, that we launched the NSE Marketplace, an initiative that seeks to revive market activity and boost growth in our domestic capital market through addressing both the supply and the demand side to accelerate growth. The NSE marketplace will provide a platform for Kenya to communicate investment opportunities to the world, positioning the country as a hub for trade and investments, enabling Kenya to attract FDI across various leading emerging sectors in Kenya through the NSE. Similarly, the NSE marketplace will help highlight opportunities for global companies looking for international expansion, specifically in Africa. And we recognize you now, in only 1 month of leadership, as a champion for Africa, to consider listing on this market. Equally, working closely with local and international media, the NSE marketplace will open the trading floor for access to all media houses and all stakeholders and our partners to communicate investment and economic-related information from the NSE, increasing awareness of opportunities in Kenya. You might want to know that the NSE today is actually one of the leading vendors of information on financial activity. Additionally, the NSE marketplace will help accelerate listing routes for leading companies through offering client-focused advisory and guidance to potential issuers, significantly reducing the time to market. Your Excellency, as I highlight these opportunities, I must shorten my speech because the market must open in 5 minutes, in 2 minutes. So I'll actually go straight to the conclusion. Over the past 2 decades, the government has leveraged the Kenyan capital markets to raise capital to finance various projects, as well as to transfer ownership of assets through privatization. As you mark your first visit to the exchange, Mr. President, it is our humble request that your administration rejuvenates the privatization program. The privatization of state-owned enterprises will mark a decisive point in broadening Kenya's appeal to both domestic and international investors. That is our main ask today. We equally request the government to consider releasing additional shares in already listed companies, KCB, Safaricom, and the likes, enabling us to increase more opportunities, revitalize interest among Kenyans, as well as to help address corporate governance issues. I'm sure, Mr. President, you agree with me that many parastatals today, if they were listed, you would not have an issue with governance. Today, companies like Safaricom, Equity, they're leading on ESG, and we must continue to emulate them. Your Excellency, I have no more time, so I will cut my speech there. And I want to conclude by really appreciating you for appointing Moses Kuria as the Minister for Trade and Investment. I've known Mheshimiwa for a long time, and I knew him as a hard-nosed, sharp-tongued politician. I did not know he was a business consummate leader like he is. The last few days of interacting, sir, we are confident that under his stewardship, we will go places. With those few and many words, and the rest I will share with you because there is no more time, we would like to invite you, Your Excellency, to open the market through the bell ringing. Thank you, sir.
Welcome, Your Excellency. Thank you. Welcome, sir.